Welcome back to another School of Impact podcast episode. It's great to have you here today. We're going to be diving into how to turn your Facebook profile into a client-generating magnet. And this is using simple yet strategic live videos that captivate and convert. And quite frankly, this is what I'm going to share with you today is very applicable, transferable, whether you're using Instagram, TikTok, anywhere that has video, which is pretty much everywhere. What I'm going to share with you will directly apply. Now, I'm going to be giving you some specifics today on Facebook. It's what I know best. I've built multiple successful coaching businesses on Facebook, but I've also had some success on Instagram as well. And the strategies I'm going to share with you really work because they're principle and skill based. You know, it's kind of like helping somebody lose weight. As long as they understand like how to actually eat right, how to eat healthy, like they can succeed on keto, they can succeed on intermittent fasting, they can succeed on whatever because they understand the underlying habits. It's pretty much what I'm going to be sharing with you today. So wherever you're doing videos on, you'll be able to succeed utilizing what I'm going to share. So y'all, we're going to dive into exactly what to do, especially right now. If you're listening to this and you're a coach, whether you're online coach, an online fitness or health or wellness coach, or even if you're still doing brick and mortar type stuff, you know, and you feel like you're hustling, you're really hustling to have conversations, to do marketing, right? Whether it's you in the DMs, maybe posting content all of the time through your social media accounts, you know, at least every day. And you're not getting consistent leads coming in, you're not making consistent sales from it, it is exhausting. And this is one of the reasons why I'm sharing this with you and why we're going to be doing this boot camp coming up. And I'm going to share with you why this is happening and what to do to fix it. That's the basis of today's episode. Now, as I was just alluding to, before we dive into today's episode, we're going to be going deep into what I'm about to share with you right now on this Thursday for free. It's going to be called the Go Live Get Clients Bootcamp, and it's going to be about a 2 to 3 hour immersive experience where I'm going to deep dive into exactly how to do this, like the ins and outs. What I'm going to share with you today, you're going to get a lot, but if you really want an immersive experience, we're going to be doing this bootcamp Thursday. If you're not yet registered, we've had a lot of people register already. If you're not yet registered, you can either go to www.growmyvisibility.com/workshop and register, or you could drop in the comments or shoot me a message if you're listening on the podcast and just say the word bootcamp and I'll go ahead and send you the link to register. Now, it's important to note, this is a non-pitch boot camp. I know the traditional, you know, quote unquote guru does like this like mediocre webinar, right? With okay value and then they pitch you. I'm not going to pitch you. Okay. You know what I do. If you don't know what I do, you're going to learn what I do. If you want to work with me, if you want to learn how to get clients from communication, whether it's live video, your content, podcasting, things like that. This is what I do, right? So I'm not going to pitch you on the boot camp. You know, you're gonna reach out to me if you want help, you know, and if you don't want help, that's cool. But in this boot camp, it's about you actually like taking the time to be present, to implement what you're gonna learn so you can actually get results. Because quite frankly, there's no reason you should be at this boot camp unless you're gonna actually take what I'm teaching you and applying it, right? And you may be like, well, why are you doing this free boot camp, Jason? Well, because I know that there's going to be people that actually want to work with me. It happens every single time. And so we give out a lot of free value. We get referrals from doing these things all of the time. People are like, dude, that was like, I was blown away by what you did. Things you taught, we end up getting referrals and stuff like that too. So if you want to learn, without that being said, if you want to learn exactly how to turn your Facebook profile into a client generating magnet, have this immersive experience around how to do it utilizing live videos, be at that bootcamp. It is on April 14th. As long as you register, you can get access to the recordings. So just make sure you're registered and you will get the goodies. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and dive in right now. So, I'm speaking to you exclusively right now if you're already hustling. Like if you're already taking action, doing marketing, you're in the DMs, you're trying to find people to talk to, You are posting content to social media every single day, but your results aren't consistent. It's like if you feel like that client that is working out really hard, that's counting every macro that goes into their body, but their body's not changing. If you feel like that in your business, like I'm talking to you right now, I'm going to show you what to do to fix that. Now, the 9 times out of 10, the mistake that I'm seeing, especially from the coach that's already taking action, that's already posting content, is their content is, especially if you're already going live, right? If you've already had the courage to start going live and got over those fears, then what I see is teaching too many topics in one thing, or teaching in general, teaching too much information in general in their content. And it's kind of like, you know, that boring, and I'm not saying this, you're boring, I'm just using this as like a connection point here. You ever had like that science instructor that was teaching like a boring lecture and you're like, oh my God, like it's great information that the science instructor is sharing, but it's boring as like nobody wants to hear it, right? Versus you hanging out maybe at the bar, maybe it could be a juice bar, right? If you're like super fit nowadays, but where you're having just that conversation with a friend. You know what I mean? There's like a massive difference in boring science lecture, conversation with a friend at a bar, right? And so we want to be the latter. Like that's in part like how we're going to start communicating. I'm going to share that with you. So you want to think about it like this. Like you have great information. Every single coach, and I call this the coach's curse, has great information, right? You wouldn't be doing what you're doing if you didn't know how to get somebody a result. At least I hope not. At least I hope you wouldn't be trying to help somebody solve a problem if you didn't know how to solve it. So you understand it, but there's something that's called levels of market awareness and levels of market sophistication. And so the level of market awareness is they may know they have a problem. They may or may not know you can solve it yet, and that's irrelevant for what we're going to talk about right now. They know they have a problem, but they don't yet have that level of awareness that you have. So they're not aware that of the information and the knowledge that you have. They may be thinking way back here. This is why people that are trying to lose weight, they're still like where you're like, why would you diet? Why would you restrict your calories? And in their mind, they don't know that yet. They're just like, oh, well, I'm trying this next thing. I'm cutting out on my carbs, or I'm doing this or that. And you're just like, so when you're sharing that information, it goes over so many people's heads because your level of awareness is like light years ahead of where most of your ideal clients are. And I don't care what your niche is or what problem you're solving. This is true for any of these. And so a lot of times as coaches, we're teaching too much, too many topics in one. That's one of the problems, or mistakes rather. And the other mistake is just teaching too much in general, or just providing information as a way to give value. And quite frankly, that's like, you know, the old line where it's like, that's so last Tuesday. That's so 2019 and before. This day and age, with the level of market sophistication, which is a whole different episode for another day, but the market's smarter now. The people that you are marketing your program to are smarter now. And so we have to do things a bit differently. And that's what we're going to get into today, especially if you want to turn your profile into a place where you know you can get clients on a consistent basis. And so here's a big insight, and I encourage you to write this down. If you are listening to this on the live stream, put this in the comment section. And if you're on the podcast, like definitely write this down. Communication to create demand is what does this in your marketing. Communication that creates demand is what does this in your marketing. This is how we both provide value to somebody, and we take their pain and desire that they're currently in, and we turn it into them giving you money in exchange for solving that pain or helping them reach that desire, depending on how somebody is motivated. I want you to think about it like this. Imagine you were having a conversation with your significant other, right? You know those times where you're communicating something, but it comes out wrong, and you say something to your wife or to your husband, right? And they take it the wrong way, and you're like, that's not what I meant. Like, it's what you said, but it's not what you meant. You know what I'm talking about? Like, this is exactly what communication that creates demand means. When you're looking to whether you're writing your content or going live and speaking your content, the way we say something, how we say something is different than what we say. You know, like what you communicate to your significant other is one thing. How you communicate it is a completely different thing. The same thing in our marketing. What you're saying in your videos and in your content is completely different than how you say it, how you're writing it, how you're communicating it. This is a big key distinction to making your marketing work. And so if you're already posting content, if you're already writing and giving information, but it's not converting, it's because how you're saying it isn't meeting your avatar, your audience, at the level of awareness they are. Guys, this is so freaking massive. This will change everything for you when you truly grasp that concept. The difference between what you're saying and how you're saying it. If you're currently saying things to your audience, but they are not converting them, you're not getting leads from them, it's because how you are saying it is not in alignment with where your market's level of awareness is today. Like, massive. This will change everything for you. So what exactly do you have to do to make that happen? Right? This is the basis of the entire, this is literally like one of the first things that I teach our students when they come into the in-demand coach program is how to sharpen and dial in this message. Because without the foundational piece, the message, your content's gonna fall flat. Your call to actions are gonna fall flat. Who gives a crap if you have a landing page? It's not gonna work, right? Because the base, the foundation isn't there. And so here's what you have to do in this order. The first thing that you have to do is you have to connect with your audience. You have to connect with your audience. And to connect with your audience, it's two different things. There's probably three, but I'll give you two major ones right now. The first one is you have to sharpen your message. You have to be able to sharpen your message around speaking to one avatar, to their pains, to their desires. You have to know their problems. You have to know what mistakes they're making currently to solve those problems. All right. You have to know what their limiting beliefs are, right? So if they're currently making a mistake, why are they making that mistake? If, like, for example, if they're trying to lose weight and they are eating 600 calories, why are they doing that? What are the beliefs around that? Knowing these things allows you to know how to communicate to your audience, right? For example, if you are helping somebody lose weight and you know that they are, eating whatever it may be, 600 calories, their belief may be that if I eat less, I will lose more. Or maybe they have some crazy food anxieties, right? Where they're like, if I touch anything that's not like a salad, I won't lose weight. Do you see, like, if you don't communicate to them in a way that addresses their belief, it doesn't matter how much you're talking about like calorie deficits or eating carbs or not restricting, they don't believe you. Not because they don't want to or they don't trust you, but they have a certain belief that's limiting them from actually accepting your ideas as true. Does this make sense? Y'all, like, this will change. This is what allowed a lot of people look at a lot of people try to model my fitness business because we had massive success, and they try to take my niche and exactly what I was saying. But the thing is, the reason it doesn't work is they don't understand how to communicate to their audience in a way that like pokes holes in these beliefs and makes things true. Like, this is what I teach to our students. Like, this is why this stuff works so well, right? So that's number one, is being able to sharpen your message. And this is what allows you to start creating that connection with your audience. You with me so far? The second thing here is you have to captivate your audience. You have to captivate your audience. It's not enough. Like, you look at the world we're living in right now, where it's like people are like on TikTok and their reels, like reels are front and center, and like people are swiping up every like 7 to 8 seconds. Even if somebody's on like a Facebook account or an Instagram or a LinkedIn, they're just scrolling, right? They're scrolling. And so in order for us to get the attention of your avatar, like, I don't care how good your program is, I don't care how amazing the information that you're sharing is, if you can't captivate, if you can't get the attention and keep the attention of your audience, you are not going to have a business, especially if you're marketing on social media. And so what we have to do is we have to get really good at hooking our audience in. This is going to be like getting good at writing headlines for your avatar. This is in headlines that stop the scroll, right? Which is a whole nother topic. This is going to be good at using story with your teaching topics. That way you don't sound like this boring science lecturer, and that you're actually having a legitimate conversation with your friend, right? Like getting good at using story with your topics. Really, really powerful. These are just some of the ways that you can start captivating your audience. Does this make sense? The second piece here is going to be around aligning beliefs. This is where you're getting your audience to think and feel differently, right? If we go back to what we were just talking about in the message piece, it's like people have certain beliefs. You have to take the beliefs that they currently have that are limiting them from getting the result they want, whether that's losing weight or whatever it may be. You have to help align their beliefs. And this is called influence and persuasion, my friend. Influence and persuasion, right? In fact, this is one of the most unique things about the In-Demand Coach is that as far as I know, we're one of the only companies that truly teach how to influence and how to persuade in your actual marketing through the power of your words. And this is key for you to get down, is learning how to shift somebody's belief from the current limiting belief that's keeping them stuck to the belief that you know they need, which is your belief for them to move forward. Influence, right? You can look at this two ways. You know, some of the most feared leaders in history use the same stuff to manipulate people. And that's not good. They're taking people and they're moving them into a negative belief. But an influencer takes it for good. They learn these skills and they learn how to take somebody that has a negative belief that's hurting them and how to move it into a positive so that it helps transform them. If you don't know how to utilize that power, especially this day and age where you're marketing as a personal brand on social media, you're going to have a very hard time, A, standing out, and B, helping people, which is going to limit the amount of clients that you could serve in your business, the amount of leads that you get, right? And so that's around captivate, is knowing how to do those things. And then the third big major piece here is to convert your audience. And to convert your audience, you have to understand how to use call to actions, how to communicate a call to action that creates demand, that takes the pain that your audience is in, the desires that they have, and that creates demand out of them. You with me? Like, if you don't know how to communicate a call to action, people will not move forward, right? Like, they will not move forward. Like, this is how in my online fitness business, I was able to fill up my client calendar. Like, we had calls booked out for weeks at a time. It's because every time I drop a call to action, we would have people lined up, right? Like, even now, like if I have barely done any work to fill up the boot camp, right? Our goal was just to get like 50 people in the boot camp because we're making this a little bit more of an immersive experience so I can be more like readily available to help people. And we filled up 50 in the first day or two. And that was all from just communication in a way that creates demand. Like, and people know that it's going to help them. And so it gets them, people go there, right? And you can do the exact same thing. Like, it's like what I'm doing is both a science and it's an art, right? And it comes from alignment. That's number one, which goes back to what we talked about in connecting with your audience. It's truly being able to speak from a place of authenticity and to really know how to speak and communicate your message in a way that lands with people at the same time, that meets people where they currently are, right? And so with converting your audience, it's about communicating your call to actions in a way that creates demand for the pain and desire that your audience is in. And then of course it's booking calls. Like, if you don't know how to book calls, you could get all the, I could teach you exactly how to get as many leads as possible into your inbox. But if you don't know how to get them onto consultations or book them onto calls, it's really not going to matter, right? So that's a whole nother thing. And that is something that we teach in the In-Demand Coach, is more of the energy behind it, how you actually like make that happen. So these are the three major things, okay? So let's go ahead and recap this really quick, and I'm going to give you guys a little something that you could take away and implement into your business today with. And so the frustration that I see so many coaches have right now is not the lack of not doing anything. It's like already hustling in the DMs, maybe in Facebook groups, like finding people to talk to. It's posting to social media like every day, but having inconsistent leads and sales from it. And the reason this is happening is because either A, you're just teaching too many topics in one video or in one piece of content, or in general, you're teaching too much in your content in general, and you're not really creating demand. You're just kind of being that boring science lecturer, not having that conversation with a friend at a bar. And instead, what you have to do is learn how to communicate in a way that creates demand for your stuff, right? We talked about like how you're communicating with your significant other is different. Like what you say to them and how you say it is the difference of causing like a fight or making things happen, making things get done, and you guys staying in congruence with each other, right? And the 3 ways to do this is connect with your audience, which we talked about, sharpening your message up, captivating your audience, really hooking them in, using story with your teaching topics, and converting your audience. Learning how to communicate your CTAs, your call to actions, in a way that creates demand for whatever it is that you're leading people into. Does that make sense? When you can do these things, this is exactly how you turn your social media, whether it's your Facebook profile, your Instagram profile, your TikTok profile, any profile that you're using, quite frankly, is, again, these are principles. These aren't just quote unquote strategies. These are actual principles, skill sets that make you go from unseen to in demand in your market. So again, if you would like to get an immersive experience on this coming Thursday, we have our Go Live Get Clients Bootcamp. It's going to be about a 2 to 3 hour experience where you want to show up present. And even if you're going to be on the recording, again, as long as you register, we will send you access to the recording. This will not be available anywhere else. We have this in a private pop-up Facebook group, which is going to be shutting down 10 days after. And so you have to be registered if you want to get access to the recordings. However you watch it, live or recording, you want to be 110% present when you go through this experience. You want to be taking notes, you want to be writing things down, and you want to be implementing what I'm going to be giving to you, because quite frankly, the amount of results that this could give you in a very short, time collapsed time frame is just insane. And you don't have to take my word for it. You could just show up and actually participate, or you could sit on the sidelines for something, and you can watch other people around you taking action on the information that I'm going to share, which quite frankly, in my humblest opinion, this is revolutionary. Like, this stuff isn't being taught, okay, anywhere else, at least not this way. So it's your choice if you want to join and you haven't already. Right now, it's completely free. We are going to start charging for these boot camps, but right now I am offering it for free. Maybe this was the last one. I don't know yet. We're going to see the turnout and how everything goes with this. So anyways, if you want to learn how to do that and how to really not feel like an overworked, underpaid employee when it comes to your business, and really learning how to be efficient and how to get clients from your social media, then it's time. It's time for you to step on in. These aren't theories. These are facts. I've done this in my own business multiple times, and I've helped now hundreds of people do the same. So hopefully I'll see you there. It's www.growmyvisibility.com/workshop. If you, for whatever reason, can't find the link, didn't work for you, shoot me a DM and say the word bootcamp, and I will send you an invite. All right, my friends. With that being said, if you found value in today's episode, my ask of you is to go to the Apple iTunes podcast store, or that came out very long. Just go to your Apple podcast and leave a 5-star rating and review. Let me know what you thought about the podcast, and I would greatly appreciate you. As always, your message matters now more than it ever has before. Have faith, stay focused, and take aligned action.